Coming at you live from my home studio in beautiful La Puente, California. This is the All Dodgers podcast. What's going on, Clint Nation? Happy Monday to you all, wherever you may be. We are here, like I said, in La Puente. We're also in Chicago when I bring in our guy, Skinner7 Kevin, in just a second. But first, we're going to talk about what is on today's show. We got some latest spring training thoughts because since we were last live, the calendar has gone from February to March. Isn't it crazy how that works? So we'll talk about some things out of camp. We're going to talk about, as you see on the screen, the first roster cuts out of spring. And then we're bringing back 3 up, 3 down in honor of my boy Eric Yulo, but also in honor of, there's not a whole lot of things to talk about out of Camelback right now. We just need the season to get here. So we'll talk about things and stuff and other what's nots going on at Dodger spring training, plus some voicemails and more. If you guys want to get in, get your voicemail in right now. Numbers on the screen, 562-373-4095. Or if you're listening at a different point and you want to call in and leave a voicemail for a future show, that's the same number. But let's go to Kevin, man, because he was in Arizona this past weekend and didn't even go to a Dodger game. He saw a Padres game. Or it was a
Mariners game.
Mariners.
It was a Mariners game.
So shared. They share the same.
The Padres just happened to be there.
Yeah, they share it. But how was it, man? How was your experience out there?
It was good. Watched some batting practice. Before we went to the stadium, got loosely heckled by a Padres minor leaguer or spring training invitee, which is pretty funny because I was wearing a Dodgers hat as I went into the stadium. I was at the stadium, and yeah, one of the players kind of heckled me, said my hat was ugly. I had the gate attendant say, "Oh no, we got a Dodgers fan walking in here. I don't know if I can let you in." And I hit him with the old, no one with a World Series championship can get in here, huh? That was fun.
Boom, roasted. Which hat? It wasn't that hat, right? Or did you have a different hat?
No, I had the Dodgers World Series with my 2024 World Series hat. Bold. I had to remind the people, just can't let them forget.
Guys, that's some good stuff there. If you guys have any, I know our boy Richie is getting back from spring training or just got back today, but if you guys have any spring training thoughts or other thoughts going on, let's have a nice loose hangout here in the stream. I appreciate people hanging out with us in the comments so far. Guys, like the show, subscribe to the show. We're trying to get to 15,000 subscribers by opening day. It's a bold ask, but we did just pass 13,000, so thank you. You guys are awesome. Appreciate it. Literally could not do it without you. I sing a lot of friends here in the chat. Ricardo Ayala, Kenny Chung, Seth Klein, BC, Elisheva Jones. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Of course, our buddy Noah, as you know, Phil Fountain in the chat, Ray, Daniel Barry Sports. So we got some supporters of the show as well on our YouTube members page in here. Again, appreciate you guys hanging out. Let's get into it. Mike is in the chat as well. Craig hanging out with us. If you guys don't know who we are, quickly, because I haven't pushed a button, I'm Clint. That's Kevin. I should probably tell you guys that before we get too far into it. But let's talk first about the latest updates out of Camelback Ranch. First roster cuts of the spring, and despite the Dodgers cutting 8 players, they still have 59 players in camp, which according to sources is a lot of players. But here are the names we're looking at: Nick Frasso, Carlos Duran, Julian Fernandez, Justin Jarvis, boo, we say to him, Ryan Ward, who of course scored the winning run off of Dalton Rushing's walk-off double against the Angels over the weekend, Justin Dean, Zaire Hope, Josue De Paula. Those ones are big names we would like to see maybe longer. But yeah, those are all the names the Dodgers have optioned to minor league camp, or at least sent down, reassigned, the only option being Nick Frasso. And I talked about this earlier on Dodgers territory, so we don't need to talk about it a whole bunch here, but I don't know if you share the same opinion. The one that stands out the most to me, or the one that's kind of the most shocking-ish, is Frasso, just because I thought maybe they'd want to see, get eyes on him for a little bit longer, understanding how important he could be for this team. But reactions, thoughts about this so far?
Absolutely agree. I was surprised Frasso was the one that was sent down or optioned to minor league camp. He's coming off that injury. I guess maybe their thought process behind it is, we know where he stands with the injury, and therefore we no longer need to see him. They just wanted to see where he was at in his progression, how healthy was he at this stage in the year. And once they knew that, they wanted to get other guys more looks, which I think is a mentality that if that is their mentality, I think that's beneficial for him. He'll get more opportunities at the minor league level. The surprising aspect is, with kind of question marks up and down that pitching depth. There was a chance he could potentially break camp with the team.
Yeah.
He was looking really good when he was given opportunities. So, it's surprising from that aspect, but I have a feeling the Dodgers as an organization know what they have in him, and they want to get closer looks at other players instead.
And also, like you're kind of alluding to there, they're going to need to lean on him at some point, and they can't have everybody kind of just building up 2 or 3 innings behind the big league starters, who obviously need to build up a whole lot with opening day just around the corner, Tokyo opening day especially. So it makes sense for him to kind of get some more opportunities, or at least some time to stretch out at on the minor league side of camp. So it's fine. It doesn't affect him. Still coming over to Major League Camp if they need him or something like that. But still, I wouldn't call it shocking, but it's the only one where it's like, maybe you could see him for a little bit longer. I love our guy Seth Klein here saying $2 super chat. Appreciate you, Seth. Let's hit the gong for that. Says Dodgers. MLB needs to let the Dodgers have a 60-man roster. And I would say 30 active players at the bare minimum. It would be nice, but. Yeah, Dodgers or MLB has let the Dodgers cheat enough, according to some people out there in the MLB sphere or whatever, fans of other teams. Anyways, enough pussyfooting around. So that was that talk. I do got to tell you guys before we get too deep into the show about Bet Online. It is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. It's also getting close to that time of year for March Madness, so it's a good time to get on there. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, Bet Online is your ultimate game day companion with the largest selection of odds on everything from the NBA, college basketball, NHL, UFC. Bet Online should be continuing to be your number one source for sports betting. Like I said, here in 2025, they have every three-pointer, every hat trick. Bet Online has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, every win. Bet Online, the game starts here. And let's get back into the show. If we're going to talk for a second, just longer on that, you wonder who else is on the cutting block. I just wrote some names down, and just for the sake of getting it off my chest, from the 40 man, I'm looking at Justin Wrobleski, Bobby Miller, Edgardo Henriquez, the Dreyer kid, Jack Dreyer. Hunter Fiducia, I think, will end up being an odd man out. We're going to talk more about another guy right here, Hyeseong Kim, in just a second. I don't think Kim ends up on that opening day roster. Same with James Outman, and then we know all the injured list guys who are not on the 60-day as of yet. Brusdar Gratterall, Michael Grove, this dude Clayton Kershaw, Michael Kopech will be on the 15-day, as will Evan Phillips and Emmett Sheehan. Sorry, everybody's Michael. Everybody's the wrong name. We're going to slow it down right now. We're going to talk about 3 up, 3 down. Guys, we haven't done this in a while here on the show. In honor, I should have put the old Eric Yulo logo of his show back.
I should get a fake mustache if we do this again.
That would be nice. And you got to grow the hair back, but you got rid of the hair.
I can't do that. Yeah, we'll go with a fake mustache. Let's get a little.
But yeah, we got 3 up things, 3 down things that we like. And guys, sound off in the comments about stuff you're liking out of Dodgers camp so far. Things maybe you're kind of concerned about. We have a few things that I want to bring up here on the show, but yeah, just keep loading up the comments. Do the thing I said earlier about liking and subscribing and sharing and all that kind of stuff. It helps us out. Ups is another thing we talked about earlier on Dodgers territory. Not at all shocking to say the Dodgers play better when they have their good players in the lineup. And, the offense gets going with Shohei in the lineup and with Freddie in the lineup, because all of a sudden they've rattled off 4 wins in 3 days. But what are your thoughts there about the first up for today?
It was nice to see Shohei. We talked a little bit about what the power might look like coming off that shoulder injury.
He showed us.
He went straight the opposite field, and it wasn't a cheap one. He got all of it. So that was pretty awesome to see. And then Freddie Freeman, there's the concern with the ankle. I think what ended up happening there is the trainer, if I were to act as Freddie Freeman's trainer, what I would have told him is something along the lines of, well, I'd be looking up at him because I think he has like a full foot on me. So it'd be like this. It'd be like, if you just hit it out of the park, you don't have to run. And that's kind of the advice he's taken. He doesn't – I think he did hit a single, which he probably would have stretched into a double if he was fully healthy or if it was the regular season. It was kind of that right fielder was ranging to his left, would have had to make a tough throw. We know Freddie likes to take advantage of those, but he's doing what Freddie does. They're not cheap ones. He's letting it, get deep in the zone and just driving the ball. The swing looks nice. It looks good. Just, God, I love watching Freddie Freeman at bat. It's just it's a true joy in life. It really, really is.
Yeah, it's a pure swing, and it still is crazy to think about coming up on 4 years ago, almost to the day that he signed with the Dodgers, and kind of the lead up to that. It's like, there's no way in hell that Freddie's going to sign with the Dodgers, and then it happened, and
I
just
think
one of the best. Yeah, thank you to the Braves for being stupid and letting
Anthopoulos.
Maybe he was another one of those secret agents like Farhan with the Giants or something like that, because Anthopoulos was in the Dodgers front office for a little while just before going over to the Braves to run things there. But I
gotta wonder how they feel post that entire. Just a tangent a little bit after that entire situation, because not only did they lose Freddie Freeman, but they also traded Wilson or one of the Contreras brothers, the one that's in Milwaukee. He was part of that too.
Oh, really?
Because they traded him to Milwaukee, and then they got Sean Murphy from Oakland, because they got Sean Murphy and Matt Olson in that trade. So, wow. And Sean Murphy's he's been I think he's had like spurts where he's been fine, but now he's going to miss some more time. He struggled last year. And then you let, a first ballot a statue guy walk out of I don't know. If I'm a Braves fan, I don't feel too good about that.
Yeah, I definitely would not be a happy boy if I was an Atlanta Braves fan, for sure. But we reap the benefits, and Dodgers don't win that World Series last year without Freddie Freeman. He goes on an all-time heater in the World Series. And battling through injuries. He's 12 weeks and a few days removed from an ankle surgery. We know the rib was bugging him, and he hated having to shut it down. He told us this at FanFest, that he had to actually shut it down for once in his life, not swing in the offseason. And you wonder, maybe that kind of helped him mentally reset. Just put the bat down, really just step away from it for longer than you usually would in the offseason. He's getting older. This we know. Giving him that little bit of a break before he picks a stick back up and goes out to the cage there with Fred Sr. and has a good time getting the swing dialed in. It looks pretty quickly like that swing is dialed in. Same with Shohei. I mean, first at bat just goes dong on the Angels. You love to see it. And more importantly, the bat control as well. Like he had to smooth single to center as well. Mm-hmm. Not bad, as I told Alana earlier. Not bad for a pitcher, huh?
Yeah, not. Oh God.
Let's see. We got a super chat in there. You want to read that one?
Yeah, JY Kim, $5 says, as he prepares for tomorrow, Roki Sasaki has donated 10 million yen and 500 sets of bedding to his hometown in Japan that is combating wildfires.
That is awesome.
His home, you've really got to feel for his hometown, because they were also note if that's true. Quick Google search. I'm looking for it. Don't see anything, but if that's true, they were battling. There was the tsunami that hit that region, his hometown as well. So, I've got to feel for them.
Yeah, I don't know about it. I don't read the news. I don't believe in the news, but if he's doing that, if Roki's out there donating and helping out, his hometown, his country, that's awesome. That's the type of shit you want to see from Dodgers pitchers and Dodgers players, and Dodgers are obviously some of the most philanthropic people in sports. Even B in the chat said no team wants CT3. Even CT3 has helped out, so we could love him while still maybe wanting somebody better than Chris Taylor out there. But I want to move on for a second and talk about something else that another up for me. If we're talking about the Dodgers offense being good, they're going to need a place to play baseball in LA in a couple of weeks. And if you guys have been staying tubed to the latest out of Dodger Stadium, there's another $100 million renovation going on at Dodger Stadium, and we just had an update today. Today is a huge day because they actually laid sod in the outfield. That is massive. Got some video here from John K. Give John a follow, by the way, on social media. John does a great job with the drone footage on the internet. Love this stuff from him, and love seeing the sod get thrown down there on the field at Dodger Stadium, and that gets me excited. That's the type of shit that gets me going right there.
Yeah, I can't wait to see. I can't remember the name of the woman who did the renovations.
Janet Marie Smith.
Janet Marie Smith, when she just said that when we finally got to look and see the footage of Centerfield Plaza, that looked awesome. This is kind of along those lines. It's great to see the field kind of getting back to where it was. I'm really excited to see what they did with the clubhouse. We might not get like an in-depth tour of it. I don't know. That'll be.
I'm
going
to find a way, man. I'm going to pull every string I have to make that happen. I don't have a lot of them. Basically, it'd just be, hey, Alana, talk to somebody, or I call Mark Langell and I make something happen. But
but reporters will be, they'll get clubhouse interviews, so we'll see some of the new stuff. You can kind of piece some things together. So I'm excited. It does look really nice. The Dodger Stadium always has a beautiful field. It's always a very well kept field. So excited to see how this all comes together.
Yeah, just Minx also pointing out in the chat, there's another channel, Vast Sky Media, who's also been doing updates, daily updates at Dodger Stadium. So if you really, really like the in-depth nitty-gritty, I've followed John Kay over the years. I love what John does with the drone. So I do implore people, please check out his video. I just cut a few clips from his video. Check out the full video. It's really cool to see people working to make that field come together. Thank God we haven't had as much rain as we had like during the 2020 off season when they were first doing that. If COVID didn't happen, I don't know if that ballpark was going to be ready for opening day. I'm not going to say blessing in disguise, but still, it would have been interesting for the Dodgers and how they would have figured that out. But to borrow from Diane, who just said in the chat, smash that like button for Clint and Kevin's Kitchen. Also smash that like button for Dodger Stadium being just about ready to roll. I had something else I was going to say off of this, but I don't remember what it was, so it doesn't matter. Let's move on. Let's talk about Hyeseong Kim, because that's somebody we have talked about a good amount on the channel over the course of spring training, and I guess this has to qualify as an up because our dude hit a homer. He knocked a dinger, and he actually got an interview. He got an interview after the game, and he was excited about it, telling Fabian Ardai of the Athletic, amongst other reporters, that, hey, this is his first one. He wants to do these every damn day. This is me paraphrasing there. But, yeah, I guess he talked to Jung-Hoo Lee, also center fielder for the Giants, also fellow countryman, teammate in the past and all that, and maybe got a little bit of advice. And at the same time, we know Kim is working on swing changes, massive wholesale swing changes the Dodgers are working on. But trending might not be on opening day, but still trending in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there was the clips of him getting out early to the backfields, working with Mookie as well. Somebody we know, if you want to try to generate power from a smaller frame, I think Mookie Betts is a pretty good person to lean on for doing that. Hyeseong Kim, that wasn't necessarily a cheap one either. That he put off a good swing, and even leading up to that, we had talked about it on the previous show that he's shown a little bit of signs of power. He's put a good swing on a couple balls that one died at the warning track. He put a good swing on a ball that the center fielder had to track down. So he's getting there. It's slow. It's hard to do. Because you make mechanical changes, but then implementing them into a game where the pitcher might not throw you a good ball at any point, it's tough to see the results. So it's good to see him kind of reaping some of those results. Yeah, he might still start it at the minor league level. Still wouldn't surprise me at all. I think this is something that's going to take a lot of time, but it looks like he's more than willing and he's more than motivated to put in the work and really compete to be one of the starting guys. I think he really does want that. At least that's what he's shown in the early goings.
Yeah, he wants to be one of those guys. We still don't know if he's going to end up being one of those guys. Dave Roberts is kind of, I said it in the last stream we did here, Dave and the team have sort of laid the groundwork for the likely eventuality that he opens the season, Kim opens the season at AAA, or just to say in the minor leagues, which is not a bad thing at all. As you and I talked about last week with our friend Cody Snavely, I would rather see Kim come up and stay up rather than come up, kind of flounder, and have to get unceremoniously sent back down to AAA. That's sort of where I would prefer his how I prefer his career to start. Of course, I don't make these kind of decisions here, but yeah, again, I'll say I still think he opens the season in the minor leagues, and either Andy Pages or James Outman ends up on that opening day roster with Tommy Edman getting the lion's share of time at second base. And we're going to talk more about Tommy Edman, center field, second base, and all of that in just a second. But had a couple of things I wanted to point out. So going back to what I was saying that I forgot to say coming off of the Dodger Stadium thing, I have a comment that I could use here from our friend IB Strokin that works perfect, saying get in on all the behind the scenes fun with our international family of Dodgers fans. Check out our patreon.com /RealFRG. It's $5 a month to support the channel, support the show, and independent Dodgers coverage. But also with that, you get access to our Discord server, which is fun. And with that, you get access to our meetups that go on through Discord. And Diane, I got to text you back, but we are setting up our first Discord meetup of the year. Sunday, I think it's Sunday the 23rd. That is the plan for that. So if you want to be a part of that, you got to get in on the Discord real quick. So I just wanted to throw that one out there. We also got a super chat from our friend Richie Flores. You want to read this one because I think it's directed at you.
Yeah, I was only 2 exits up from Richie. Did I reach out? Hell no. CT3 went 0-6. He's as useless as steak sauce at a vegan restaurant. F Phoenix traffic. True. Getting to Peoria from Scottsdale, which is where we were, took 55 minutes, and then it took like 25 minutes getting back.
Yeah.
But I was at a bachelor party, Richie. I was not available, unfortunately. Otherwise, I definitely would have. If
it was more of a traditional going and hanging out. Again, you didn't even get to see the Dodgers play. Not that you
would
have been able to get in there.
I tried. I did try. I showed up, and I was like, hey, the Dodgers start at 5 if we want to go watch a good baseball team play.
That's what you tell him. I think that was the game, too. That was the Angels game. Shohei's return. There was like an hour-long line waiting outside the stadium before the game. Tickets were like $160 or whatever. I don't blame you for not going out to Camelback Ranch for that one. That's for dang sure.
It's fine. I just got to watch a 2-1 snooze fest. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it is.
I got to see Tatis roll over another double play. I turned to the Padres fan next to me, and I was like, I asked you that before.
Yeah, he has a way of doing that one. Anyways, moving on. I had nicely laid the groundwork and then decided to unravel the groundwork, but I do want to talk about the whole second base, center field, Tommy Edman, Andy Pages, James Outman, I don't know, puzzle. I'll go with puzzle again. I've been using that a lot in the offseason. That's the wrong button. But center field options will go this way. Not looking good at this point in spring. And not to say like Tommy Edman's numbers have been phenomenal, but he's a big leaguer. He's not necessarily showing up to camp needing to focus on anything or needing more so to prove anything to this front office. He just needs to, show up, get his work, don't get hurt. That's all he needs to do. However, people like Outman, people like Pages, they are fighting for a role. People like Kim, a person like Kim, fighting for a role. And one of those three dudes can either be the second baseman or the center fielder, and Edman will go wherever else. And it looks like Edman is now going to kind of most likely end up being the opening day second baseman, which means center field is a real just kind of like, hey, it's you, sir, in the outfield. Can you play? You there, boy, with the glove. Can you play center field?
Come on
down. What do you think? Listen. It's another one of those things where it's like, it's early, but are we concerned about center?
I'm concerned about center simply because I think Tommy Edman really should play second base. It's not to say he's a bad center fielder. He's just an elite second baseman, and we're kind of already moving like one elite player to a different position. You can't keep doing it all around the diamond. It starts creating problems. I think Tommy Edman playing second base is best for him and best for the team. Leads to Pages, it leads to Outman in center field, where there is a lot of concern. Outman's numbers look good if you're looking at just his slash line, but if you also look at just don't look at his strikeouts because they're all over the place. And the problem I've had with Outman, kind of all spring, and I like James Outman as much as the next guy. This is, is nothing personal. It was the same issue he had all regular season. He swings through a fastball, he watches an off speed go for a strike, and then he swings through a strike three, and it's just rinse and repeat. And he's not making the adjustments. And then Pages, I don't know if he's ever gonna be able to play center field. I'm not worried about his bat. It's a major league bat. We know this. He played very well last year, but he is lost in center field. like just turned around. And unfortunately, the Dodgers play in some difficult parks, for center field. Chase Field is massive for center fielders. Oracle Park is a nightmare with the wind. Yeah. It's just, you can't be Coors. Yeah. Oh, good God. Yeah, you can't be a liability.
You need to have a good step. You need a good first step. Yeah. You need to be able to read a baseball. You need to be able to have any sort of closing speed. You need to have a good arm. And like we've said before,
his arm's fine.
But somebody like Andy Pages, like when he's really locked in, I don't know that he's ever going to be a plus defender in center field, but he could at least be average. He could make some pretty dang good plays, but sometimes it's a little too few and far in between. And then, on the Outman side of things, there's just the biggest fucking hole right in the center of his bat, even if he's OPSing very well. I don't care if he's another one of those type of dudes that puts up Muncy-esque numbers where he hits 210 or whatever, but it still has like a 780 OPS because he gets on base and he has the slug. But that's not necessarily Outman's game, and he just has there's too much space in between where the three zones where his bat can make contact like squarely with the baseball. Where I don't know, I do think center field, if somebody can't step up, it's going to be an area of significant concern for this team because they already have a bunch of left fielders and right fielders out there. And, Chris Taylor is all of the problems he is. And then Kike Hernandez is regular season Kike Hernandez when it's not October. So center field really could end up being that spot where you look down the road, and I see Jack in the comments there talking about Luis Robert, Lou Bob. All of a sudden, we might have year 2 of talking about Luis Robert being a big-time target. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Target for this team at the trade deadline. But for now, if it's just center field and everybody else is kind of motoring fine, then we're okay. Then I'll be fine.
That's what makes Edman at second base so important. You can't you can't be a complete liability up the middle. You can't have just can't have both your second base and outfield or center fielder not really know what to do. So I am concerned for kind of opposite reasons. Pages with the defense, Outman with the bat. I don't know if there's a real complete center fielder available. Luis Robert has injury problems and also kind of just gave up last year, it looked like. So, I don't necessarily blame him, but that's not great for clubhouse culture, if we're being honest.
Not so much. I think it's something that we're going to be monitoring quite closely. Like that, we know we're watching Mookie Betts at shortstop, and we'll talk more about Mookie later this week. But the fact that we haven't had to talk about Mookie is probably a good sign so far. We're not seeing anybody really talk about him. So we love that for Marcus Lynn Betts. But center field is going to be an issue, and if all 8 other players in the lineup can do some damage, like personally, I don't care if James Outman is out there hitting 8th or 9th and playing good defense. We know eventually he's going to run into some baseballs. He's going to find a way to get on base. He's going to strike out a butt ton, but to have elite defense, not to say that James Outman is an elite defender in center, but he's at least he's the only plus. He's the only above average defender in center field this team has. So to have him be out there to help out Conforto and Teoscar, I'm not opposed to that, but you need everybody else kind of pulling their weight.
Everybody needs to be hitting
in the lineup. Before we move on to the next thing, I want to quickly help out with something that I saw in the chat. I think there was some confusion when I said all Dodgers meetup, and then shortly afterwards mentioned $160 for the spring training game. No, that's not how it works. We're not charging you $26 to be to be a part of a special chat. chat. We're not charging $126 or $160 or whatever for the game. The game will be game prices and all that. How am I trying to explain this? The meetup is its own thing and will be just game price tickets. And the $160
the
thing.
only way you will know about the meetup is
Yes.
through the Discord.
Is through our Discord, through supporting the channel, either through YouTube members or Patreon. But people were paying $160 to go see Shohei play his first game. There it is. I think that's what I what I was messing up there, or what kind of got lost in translation. But anyways, moving on to our final kind of or not final, but our next down. I guess we didn't really clarify. Centerfield, that was the first of the downs. We went through all the ups. We got Hyeseong Kim trending as an up. Dodger Stadium getting grass, that's an up. Dodgers offense looking better with Mookie, also Freddie and Ohtani in the lineup. But down number 1, Centerfield options not looking so great. Down number 2, just generally to me, seeing Walker Buehler in a Red Sox jersey. Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Is he throwing a 2-seam now? Because that pitch,
that had a little ride.
That had a little ride to it, and I'm like, where was that? That was gross. He throws it right there. He front himps it. Like, it's gonna hurt watching him all year because he looks good. He looks good. Not in that jersey, but he looks good on the mound at least.
And that right there, a nice little bender off the other side. Good debut for Butane there. You love to see it, but I hate to see that as I transition into my next point of topic here, and my third down, which is just kind of Dodgers pitching overall. Yes, it's early. Yes, it's a dumb question, but are we at all worried about the state of Dodgers pitching and their 5.57 ERA, which is 20th best in baseball? Are we at all? Sorry, yeah, there it is. 21st best or 10th worst in all of baseball this spring. What do you think about what we've seen out of the pitching thus far?
They're working on stuff. I think Blake Snell was talking like he was throwing more fastballs than normal. He was just trying to make sure it felt right coming out of his hand. He said talking secondary didn't feel right, but that's okay. Not what he's trying to do. Yamamoto's clearly toying with some stuff. He's even said he's throwing pitches in quadrants he normally wouldn't against batters he normally wouldn't, just trying to see what he can get away with, I think. You got guys working on pitches. Glasnow is working on some delivery mechanics. So I'm not at all worried. The relief pitchers, I really couldn't care less about. I know Tanner Scott hasn't looked fantastic. I've been joking with my Padres fan every time he gives up a run. Like, oh man, he's washed. He'll be fine. It's spring training. Not at all worried. I think the Dodgers bullpen has finished like top 5 in ERA like the last 5 years, maybe even more than that. And the starting pitching is always going to be good. It's just going to come down to who's healthy. So, once we get into regular season games with because it does make a difference when you come to spring training and you don't have a hit, you don't have a scouting report on, the A's, minor league third baseman. Like, yeah, you might just throw him a meatball because you don't know. And you're like, I'm just going to throw what looks good to me. So I'm not at all worried.
Yeah, you shouldn't be worried. I figure this is just for the sake of conversation and the sake of little else going on around Dodgers camp. Again, we're at that point where it's ho-hum. We're at that point where we just really want to get to meaningful games already. Unfortunately, we're going to have a couple of meaningful games and then, more meaningless games back in LA.
I hated that last year.
Well,
I hated that last
year. We got at least one more of those for sure. But, again, it's only spring. We're only, 10 games into spring training for this team. It's still, to me, it's something to bookmark for about 6 weeks from now. 6 or 7 weeks from now. I'm not worried. And I understand they have a lot of the veterans who are just kind of looking at some things like you're saying, which I fully agree with. Great point there, of course, but also some of the rookies. Somebody saying, I saw somebody in the chat saying that Justin Jarvis is carrying about 4 of that ERA because he just really just kind of shit the bed in all of his outings. Also, Preston to duty a little unexpectedly a few times as well was Jarvis, but yeah, and then people like Tanner Scott working on some things, and Kirby Yates. Blake Trinan has looked absolutely disgusting whenever he's got on a bump, but you know how it goes.
That's just the power of prayer right there.
Something like that, a little something like
God.
that.
What he was snapping off the last time we saw him. Oh my God! And then Pitching Ninja did an overlay of his sweeper and turbo.
But they say it was like 41 inches of
41 inches. Yeah.
Oh,
it was 20. It was.
I don't know how you hit
17 inches.
Blake Trinan. Do not know how you hit.
I don't know.
Blake
If
Trinan.
he's landing anything, it's just up to him to land it for a strike, which he does. But it also helps that every pitch he throws basically starts in the middle of the plate and then just dives one way or the other.
So there it is. We're not worried. We're not worried about Dodgers pitching. As we keep having to remind ourselves, spring training numbers don't mean a goddamn thing. You'd still like to see the team do better, but that's, I'd rather see them do bad and win a World Series, whatever it takes, to whatever the kind of formula is to have them hoisting a trophy again at the end of October. That's what we're going to go ahead and do. That's what we're going to go ahead and focus on. But we got some voicemails to focus on here, guys. So again, if you have not called in, I'm probably not going to take any new voicemails at this point, but sound off in the comments. We'll have voicemails. We'll read some comments, and then we'll go ahead and get the heck out of here. But we have a few, including some new callers today. So let me go ahead and get to the right screen there, which you guys see. Ooh la la. And let's go ahead and listen to, we got our friend, he's one of the newer folks that joined our chat, but he's been around for a while. You guys probably have seen his art on the Instagram. He goes by, is Blue the Dodger Dog, but also by Filbert Fountain. But here's what Phil had to say.
Hey, greetings, real FRG and Clint Nation. Who am I? Well, some call me the Space Cowboy, but others call me Filbert or even Blues the Dodger Dog. Hey, my question for you is, when will we see Dave Roberts extended? Before Tokyo? And will he be the highest paid manager in MLB history? Inquiring minds want to know, and I do too. All right. Waiting to hear from you. Thank you.
Hey, Phil, great call. I appreciate that. Short, sweet, and a question. Something we could play with. I appreciate Phil calling in there. Yeah, to his point or to the question there, I think, Dave, that extension needs to happen before opening day. I would be shocked if it didn't happen before the Tokyo series, or maybe even announced in Tokyo. I think I would feel a lot better if this year they play a game, even if they do play one game and then it's like Dave Roberts extension and then they play game 2, as opposed to last year it was they play a game and then it's Ippei stole millions of dollars from Shohei and then they have to play a game again. I would rather do that.
Yeah, that'd be a much better turn of events or a much better series of events compared to last year. I agree. I think he gets extended before Tokyo. If it's it'll be either in or right before. I don't think we get to the regular season without it. This organization spends billions of dollars on players. I don't think they'll cheap out on Dave. I do think he'll end up being the highest paid manager of all time. At least AAV. I don't know if they want to mess around with the years. It might be, a 3-year, $30 million extension, something like that. I don't know if he goes like 10 for 100 or anything crazy like that. But I do think AAV, it'll be the most expensive thing because every time, and we talk about this every single time someone says fire Dave Rogers, it's like, okay, show me who you want instead.
Yeah.
Like, I'm waiting. Still waiting.
There is absolutely nobody that should or could be running this team, even when, so many people had torches and pitchforks after Game 3 against the Padres last year, or Game 2, whatever it was in the NLDS. There's still nobody better. And I think I said that on this show. Probably said it. Probably on Dodgers territory. It's like at some point you need to have a conversation. If they lose that series, you need to have a conversation about somebody different. Even so, if you fire him, it's not the right answer. And whoever else would have come in to run the team was not going to be the right answer. Dave is always going to be the right answer. But at some point, it's just for the show, for the what is it, the pageantry of it, you need to show like, oh, we really care, so we're going to try to switch out something. Thank God we didn't get to that point. And, whether it's in Arizona, they announce Dave's extension, or in Tokyo, or maybe they come back and it's just before the home opener in LA. Dave will be the highest paid manager in baseball history, and he will be the manager of this team for as long as he wants. And he's very deserving of that much. People in the chat as well feeling the same way. Well, Elisheva wants me to be the next Dodgers manager. Do have some titles under my belt as a not world champion slow pitch softball manager. Of course so I keep all the good hardware out in the living room, because it's mostly when you win, you get like beer mugs and whatnot.
Yeah.
Seth saying I would have to wear my hat forward. You know what? No, fuck that. I am bucking the standard.
Yeah, Dave wears Jordans on the field. You could wear your hat backward.
And then I will make sure to laugh louder than Dave Roberts. That will be my thing. I think I can do that. My voice will be gone very, very quickly. I had another one I wanted to read. Apparently people just want me to be the manager. I appreciate everybody for some reason being weird about it. But before we switch gears, I'll say Swollen Sausage is in the house, because that's what he said. And guys, when Swollen Sausage is in the house, you guys should hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, because why not? Before we get back to voicemails, I want to read a comment here. We got a question. DJ Jesse, appreciate you jumping in the chat. DJ Jesse saying, thoughts on Ryan Ward? Of course, I think Ward was one of those guys who was part of the roster cuts we just talked about in the first block of the show. Ryan Ward is going to be another one of those dudes, in my opinion, just stuck at AAA for the rest of his life, the rest of his Dodger life. Probably would have gotten an opportunity anywhere else. That's it. That's all I got. You got anything you want to add?
No, it's absolutely the case. He will. He'll be traded for the next Ryan Ward. Pretty much, they'll just reset. They'll reset his time with another, low level prospect, and just kind of keep cycling through him.
Yep. That's pretty much how it goes. Moving on, we got more voicemails. As I said, let's go ahead and listen to our friend Noah, as you know, who called in just a little bit before showtime.
Well, what up, guys? It's Noah, as you know. If you hear the music, it's because I'm at a Mexican restaurant. I just ate the Mexican sandwich that starts with a T. I'm not saying that word just because it's not the place or time for that. But anyways, spring training, I gotta say, I'm mixed on it. I am very disappointed with the results of CP3, Andy Pajes, and James Outman. At this point, I feel like they're trying to fight for who gets fired or gets let go. So, who knows what's going on with that position. However, though, I am excited for the future. Zaire Hope, Josue De Paula, and Dalton Rushing look amazing. Hopefully, in the future, they will be in the lineup or at least be in the Major League roster. The future is bright. And even though it has been a mess of wins and losses, I am okay with it, because at the end of the day, guys, spring training does not matter. All that matters is that we beat little brother down south, and we are set up to go back-to-back. I'm excited for Roki. Hopefully he lives up to the success, because I am certainly drafting him for fantasy baseball. Which, if you guys want to play fantasy baseball, make sure to join us in the Discord, because we're going to have a blast in there. Plus, when the Dodgers are losing, at least, and you're feeling miserable, you can always feel free to let us all know. That way we're all miserable together. Anyways, I'm in the public space, so I can't curse. So, blank Banana Tatis, blank Nine Machado, blank the Dodgers Stadium parking lot, and for the love of God, blank the Ghost Runner. See ya!
This is our guy, Noah, as you know. What do you got?
I got a little critique there. If you're in a Mexican restaurant, you might not want to bleep Manny Machado and Fernando Tatis Jr., like two of the most popular Hispanic players in the game right now. That's just even if you are in LA.
Yeah, I think he's in the LA area. I think he's fine. I will fight people for you, Noah. I promise you. I'll listen. I got my plaid shirt on. I will put a white undershirt on. I will go one
Button,
buttonhole.
one
I
button.
got you. My last name is Pasillas for a reason, dog. I'm just saying. Anyways, I'm sorry, guys. I haven't brought the character out in quite some time. Couple
And there's
things.
a reason for that. We need sponsors. That's why.
Sponsor your boy. One of the things I did want to bring up that Noah had mentioned. So some of the folks in Discord are starting a fantasy league. I probably can't be a major part of it because I got a lot of different things going on, but I might be the honorary commissioner for it. So if you guys want that to happen, hit that like button if you want me to be the honorary commissioner. If you guys want to join that, again, check out patreon.com or click the join button here on YouTube. All the links are in the description below, by the way, if you want to do to join us in the conversation. And another thing from Noah's voicemail is just talking about Chris Taylor, because it feels to me like we've hit a point where we just talk around him now because we've said everything that sort of needs to be said. He's not doing good. He's not doing good.
Yeah.
I love Chris Taylor, but we might be at the end of the line here. This could be it. Like if he doesn't
when we talk
turn around, go ahead.
When we talk about, adding the 13th position player or the 26th man, we're really talking about adding the 25th man or the 12th position player because Chris Taylor occupies that 26th man role. I truly don't think they're gonna do anything with him. Jeff Spiegel out on Dodger Blue has a good point where sometimes you just need a player who's like really okay with just sitting on the bench and doing nothing and occasionally gets into a game, because that's kind of all Chris Taylor is. And you don't want it to be a minor leaguer, right? Like, I don't think any of us want Hunter Fiducia to occupy the same space as Chris Taylor. Not saying he would, but in terms of at-bats and utilization, I think we'd all rather have him hitting at the minor league level or getting regular reps, which he's not gonna right now. But I think they're gonna keep him. He's coming up on that 10th year of service time. I just don't see them getting rid of him now. The team is good enough to withstand a Chris Taylor, and that says something.
We also just did a segment minutes ago talking about how bad the center fielders are and how bad the options are. So if we're saying you're fighting for the 25th man, so there's Taylor, and then there's also either Pages or Outman or whatever.
But they at least do something.
They do something.
They do something.
CT, he plays defense. He has a glove. He does it well.
It's taken
declined.
a noticeable step back.
Well, it's hard to get good defending when you're not in the lineup, but it's also hard to get in the lineup when you're posting a fucking 457 OPS in spring training games. Yeah. So
I know it's striking out 633.
I think out of fairness to Christopher Armand Taylor, we will continue to just talk around him until we start to see some real games.
He's the sad puppy on the team. You just kind of have to oh, he's there. We love you.
Come on, boy. Come on outside, boy.
Oh, no.
Oh, I'm so bad. It's the worst. It's the worst. Guys, I'm sorry. This has gone off the rails. And to help it go further off the rails, I'm going to go ahead and point out that Nando390 is watching us on his TV, which is a great way to do it. And we both have lovely eyes. Look at that. Go us. Way to go. Yeah.
No, we did it.
We did it, Reddit.
We did it.
Paul 415 or 415, if you're nasty, says, time to admit Pages is not a center fielder. Yeah, he's not a center fielder. He's what they have. Conforto is less of a center fielder. Teoscar Hernandez, despite starting in center field in the All-Star game last year, is not a center fielder.
Have we reached time where we should just try? I don't know. Can we get like a weird outfield shift where Pages plays right field, but it's a shifted right field just so and we just shift everyone to the left a little bit? So like Teoscar and Conforto kind of occupy less space, and there's a really big gap in right field, and let Pages run around there.
what they could do, I don't know if you've played much slow pitch softball or whatever, but when your drunk friend shows up late because they're either drinking or getting high in the parking lot, and you have to start with 9 on the field instead of 10, so you put a 4th outfielder out there and you play without second base. Maybe we just get 4 outfielders and you don't have a second baseman.
Maybe. I think that's how that works.
Dave,
we have enough
call me.
problem. We have enough problems though with guys stealing second. I don't know if we can get rid of the second. We kind of need them.
Okay. NS says, love this channel for not defending Taylor in fear of losing their press pass. No, that's a big reason why I've never wanted to do anything official with the team. I want to be able to talk freely. Also, at the same time, I don't actively want to, on the live Chris Taylor. It was a joke. I meant to push this button. I pushed the wrong button multiple times.
How is that better? It's the same concept, just a different noise.
Moving on back to the voicemail hotline. Seth gave us a call. Let's go ahead and hear what Seth has to say.
Hey, Clint. It's Seth Klein again. Long-time caller, first-time listener. I just wanted to say hi to you and hi to the All Dodgers fam and let you know about my favorite thing regarding spring training. It's been fun watching all the boys in blue play the game again. But I think my favorite part is that it's almost over. We got about 15 days before real baseball happens, and I'm super excited. That's all I got. Keep it real. Talk to you later.
Thank you. Gotta throw a buy in there. Thank you for calling in, Seth. And yeah, getting back to real baseball. My God, am I ready? We had a long season last year for some reason. Dodgers winning World Series, I guess, does that for you. And this is one of those times, man. I've been covering this team in some way, shape, or form for a long time. This is now my 10th consecutive year of having some sort of podcast involving, or 11th year, whatever it was. This is the first time in a while where I've actually had the excitement going into the next season. Even like 20, it's like that was such a grind to get there and get that World Series where you're just like, can we take like a few months off? This one, it's like, no, let's keep going. Let's run it back. I want to get those boys again, man.
Yeah, let's keep it. Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be a lot of fun because even though the team looks mostly the same, there's a lot of pieces that are different, a lot of exciting pieces that are different. So, and thanks to Andy Friedman for all that.
And I love Dave talking about that as well. He's mentioned it a few times this offseason where he's mentioned, like, I think it has to do kind of like with the whole hangover narrative. And he's like, look, we have a lot of the same guys here, but also we have guys that have never been there, never done that. So we have that fresh blood. They want that championship. They want to feel that joy for the first time. And that's what we're here for. That's what the Dodgers are here for, to try to help everybody go out there and achieve their goals of winning World Series championships, guys. So hit that like button, leave a comment in the video, go Dodgers go, or something like that. And subscribe to the channel if you want the Dodgers to win the World Series in 2025. We got a final caller. And as usual, I bury the lead with our friend Richie Flores, who is coming back from spring training. He was out there this weekend, as you guys know, did not get an encounter with the legendary kitchen owner himself, Kevin, because Kevin was busy, man. He didn't. I remember I texted you about it, and you said you didn't even know where you were staying, let alone knowing where you were able to go that weekend. So
yeah.
It'd be like that.
I got there. Apparently, there was a Google Doc that I had no idea even existed with like the itinerary.
It sounds like a run a show for the first 80 of these you've done.
Yeah.
Guys, let's listen to Richie.
Oh, hey, Clint. Happy Monday to you. Let's talk about spring training this weekend. Going to the game itself is kind of secondary. It's the experiences and the things that surround the game. That's where the fun's at. So let's start with getting to the ballpark early. Get there around 9 o'clock. Encourage you to go out to the backfield. This is where the bullpen's open, and you can watch all of the Dodger pitchers throw their bullpens. And the only thing, separating you and Dustin May is a chain link fence, but you got a clear shot in there right there. Having the players walk through the pathway to get to fields 1 and 2. They'll stop, they sign. I saw Snell and Tommy Tanks and several other Dodgers just signing autographs and just making kids' day. But the best part is the walk down the pathway to the minor league camp. They had a simulated game going, and guess who was hitting in that game? Mookie Betts was getting about 7 to 8 at bats before he played in the split squad game. There we go. In Oakland, he got about eight at bats in 10 minutes, and he's right there. Rick Honeycutt was standing next to me, literally and figuratively, had a nice 20-minute conversation with him, and all the people that you meet. I met a couple from the UK, big Dodger fans, met a couple from Australia, big Dodger fans, and they were all excited, and Japanese fans that have come over just for spring training, and not only rocking Ohtani gear, but Mookie Betts and Tommy Tanks and Freddie Freeman, and they were talking to me in the best English as they could, just picking my brain about all the experiences and what to do at spring training. I highly recommend it. And finally, Camelback Ranch and the backfields are beautiful. All the ponds and everything. I posted a lot of pictures. Go to my X account. I'm at Dodgers52, and you'll find a lot of it there. So anyway, fuck the Dodger Stadium parking lot. Fuck the I-10 freeway. Fuck the Phoenix traffic. Fuck the tailgaters in Phoenix. And for the love of God, fuck the Grand Canyon. Didn't think I was going to get away with dropping F-bombs now, did ya? See ya.
This guy is character. Yeah, well, one, we appreciate our Arizona correspondent, Richie Flores, guys. Go, like he said, check out his Twitter X account at Dodgers52. He posted a lot of great photos out there. And you know, my feelings on Camelback have changed a bit over the years. I never liked it. I thought there was they kind of take away some of the closeness fans can get to players. It's kind of for a reason, because they not like us. You were at Peoria, this weekend. How close you can get to the players there in the backfields. Yeah. There, I've been literally as close, as you can get. I think this one of these like baseballs I have here might be literally just handed to me from one of like the either Mariners or Padres prospects years and years ago. But with the Dodgers, the vibrance, the aura, the vibes going on there, and also just the overall beauty of Camelback Ranch, despite the fact the White Sox play baseball there, or they say try to play baseball there, it's a great place to be. And taking that walk, it's a little less intuitive than you might think to get to the actual backfield side, the minor league side of camp, but it's worth just getting there early, like Richie said, navigating around the ballpark. Usually me and the boys get there early, and we set up the tailgate and have a catch in the parking lot and try not to dent any people's cars and just have some fun out there drinking many a beer before going inside and paying a lot for beer. But spring training, there's a reason this is going on year 11 or 12 for me, going out there with just the boys, and I've done it a few times where I've done multiple trips per year. It's fun. It's a good time, and it's a great place to be able to watch in baseball without it being, what you have to endure at Dodger Stadium, which is a lot, or at big league ballparks. It's a lot.
It was pretty funny, because there's only like a few thousand people in Peoria. It was pretty funny. You kind of didn't want to do the normal heckling you might, because literally everybody at the stadium could hear it. Yeah. And we were joking because Petco seats 47,000 people. Dodger Stadium is also 55, 56, also just massive. And so yelling into that void is a little different than this tiny little field with a handful of people.
Yeah, I've been to some of those games like Peoria, Goodyear Ballpark. Both beautiful ballparks, but sometimes the vibe just isn't there, and sometimes you could have a conversation at this kind of level, and people, 3 rows behind you can hear you, And usually my crew, we bring the noise. We are very loud and obnoxious, and we yell at the players. You guys should come see us at a minor league game at the Quakes one of these times, because we go on our phones and we find the third baseman, the opposing third baseman's name, and we just start yelling your mother never loved you, or whatever, just dumb shit. and it's a fun time. But you shouldn't be able to hear like everything at a
You can
big
hear
league game.
Yes.
Yeah. You don't get that at Dodger Stadium. You don't get that at Camelback Ranch, I should say. It's a great place to be. And thank God we're almost done at Camelback Ranch, because that means we're almost time for opening day. We're almost time for Dodger Stadium. And as we saw in the video earlier, Dodger Stadium is almost ready for prime time because it's got grass on the field, so we can almost play ball. And don't think anything into that. Just don't think anything into that.
Don't think too much. I try not to think. Oh, I got here.
Hey, what do I think? Thinking's ghetto. Guys, thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, all that kind of stuff, listening, the comments, the questions, engagement here on the show, the super chats as well, the voicemails. Guys, if you want to call in for a future show, like I said, check out that number you see on the screen, 562-373-4095. Would appreciate it if you called in. Ask questions, share comments, be smart, be definitely funny, spark conversation. There it is again. If you couldn't read the one below, I made it even bigger for you. Got to thank our channel members, our Patreon supporters here on the internet for helping us continue to bring some version of this show together. I don't know if it's good or if it's the best or whatever it is. I'm going to call it the best content possible, the best content money can't buy. You can help buy it somehow, but check it out if you're looking for a different way to support the show, support me, support Kevin, and all the things we do here. Independent Dodgers coverage for less than the price of a Dodger dog. Check it out, patreon.com/realfrg, or click the join button. All the links are in the description below. Shout out to our moderators for doing a kick-ass job, as they always do. Appreciate you guys a whole bunch. We'll be talking in the Discord afterwards, because that's what we usually do. That is producer Kevin. Give him a follow on the X at Skinner7Kevin. Let's get him to 15 billion subscribers if we can. I'm Real FRG on all the social media platforms. Give me a follow. You probably want to follow me on Instagram when I'm out in spring training, because I just post random loud noises most of the time. So that's always fun. All Dodgers is presented by Bet Online. Go check out Bet Online. March Madness is almost here. And that's all I got to say. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.